Welcome to Apartment Luxe, where luxury meets imagination.
The elevator doors part without sound. There is no threshold, no reception. The residence begins the moment one crosses into it, as if formality were unnecessary at this altitude. The corridor stretches forward, wide and precise. French oak parquet unfolds in a chevron pattern beneath the feet, warm as late afternoon sun. Beyond it, the grand salon opens like a revelation. A ceiling fresco, original to the Haussmann era, arcs above the room like a memory of Versailles. Its restoration is flawless, centuries preserved beneath whispered layers of varnish. Below it, contemporary furniture settles into place with serene certainty. Sculptural seating wrapped in Hermes saddle leather, the fauve hue unmistakable even without context. The upholstery bears the smallest marking, an embossed H, no larger than a thumbprint, not decoration, signature. Sunlight falls through iron-framed windows, spilling across an onyx coffee table that glows like amber caught in motion. A turn to the left reveals the Galerie d'Objets. It's not a hallway, it's a procession. Built-in cabinets of walnut and glass showcase objects curated not for value, but for memory. The light inside these vitrines is soft, diffused, as though the objects glow from memory rather than electricity. Even the silence feels hand-stitched. From there, the dining hall appears, anchored by a 10-seat table carved from travertine, its legs shaped like sculptors' pedestals. The chairs are upholstered in leather with visible saddle stitching, the same that has held Hermes craftsmanship together for generations. Above, a chandelier of cut crystal hangs like suspended rain, clear, crystalline, inevitable. It doesn't dazzle, it articulates. This is where diplomacy would taste like dessert. The kitchen is not removed or hidden. It stands open like a workshop of nourishment. Cabinetry in walnut and brass, appliances concealed behind plaster and panel. The island is a monolith of limestone, its surface honed, soft to the touch, reflecting daylight like powdered sugar. The atelier sits beyond the kitchen, a creative sanctum. Bolts of fabric drape along a walnut rail, scissors rest on a suede mat, and spools of thread line the wall like pigments on a palette. A leather-wrapped desk holds tools that feel like artifacts. And in the center of the room, a dress form stands with a half-finished coat. The atelier is not staged, it breathes, as if its owner has only stepped out for a moment to catch their breath on the terrace. And so we follow, to the terrace. French doors open outward, and the city arrives all at once. Place Vendôme stretches below in orderly elegance. Rooftops ripple in zinc and stone. The Eiffel Tower marks the horizon like a signature. Out here, the materials continue their story. Limestone underfoot, wrought iron balustrades, and a single seating area in cream cashmere. This is not a home. This is a curriculum in how wealth speaks when it no longer needs to raise its voice. The first bedroom introduces calm like a scent. Cream wool carpeting hushes each movement. Velvet drapery filters daylight into silk. A sculptural bed sits low beneath a ceiling of carved walnut panels, each line tapering like folded fabric across the room. Inset lighting glows the way afternoon light falls through atelier windows. Warm, diffused, trustworthy. On the nightstand rests a book of sketches, edges frayed, ribbon marked. Its ensuite bathroom is a meditation in stone. Pale marble, honed, veined like pages of a story. A basin carved like a fallen tear. Bronze fixtures, quiet as handwriting. Steam rising like memory. The second bedroom carries weight. Here, walnut replaces plaster. Plum velvet commands the headboard, a color reserved for rooms where conversations end instead of begin. Terrace doors open to a balcony, small, perfect. Suspended like punctuation. On the chaise rests a riding coat. Hermes, of course. Heritage doesn't ask for attention, it receives it. Its bathroom is a nocturne, black marble, amethyst veins, water falling from a seam in the wall, like a sentence spoken under breath. The room feels like night, even at 10 a.m. The third bedroom is the crescendo. A curved wall in polished plaster wraps the room like an embrace. Light slides along it in gradients, soft and intentional. The bed is centered, sculptural, geometric, a thesis on proportion. A lounge curls beneath a window overlooking the place. This room feels like a memory being written. Its bathroom answers in light. Honey onyx, backlit, a tub glowing like a lantern. Time slows here, obedient to craftsmanship. Then the heart of the private world, the walk-in closet. No, the couture vault. Walls of walnut and suede. Bronze rails lit like constellations. Display vitrines with silk linings. Birkins and Kellys sit like sculptures. Scarves rest like frescoes. The hardware shaped like a whisper of the letter H. This is not storage. It is curation. Across from it, a door disappears into the wall. When it opens, the cabinet de voyage is revealed. An entire chamber dedicated to legacy and transit. Vintage trunks, travel sets, garment cases. All Hermes, all different. Some immaculate, some worn, none are staged. They look like they remember airports that no longer exist. Luggage as lineage, travel as biography. Beyond it, the meeting room. Not large, not excessive, just decisive. A round table of limestone, 8 chairs in fauve leather, a chandelier like falling notes of music. Whoever sits here understands that walls have memory. The gym returns to modernity. Oak, leather, bronze. Equipment designed for the body, not the brand. A single punching bag wrapped in Hermes leather hangs like an heirloom. Footfalls softened by wool carpeting. Breath echoing against plaster. Even exertion feels curated. Luxury doesn't shout. It remembers. It records. It waits for those who speak its language. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video. Share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. New York doesn't announce itself here, it asserts. From this height, the city stretches outward in sharp vertical rhythm, steel, stone, glass, mirrored perfectly inside a $90 million penthouse that feels less like a residence and more like a private fashion institution. This is Saint Laurent translated into architecture. Severe, seductive, immaculately controlled. The arrival corridor sets the tone immediately. Long, monumental, almost ceremonial. Walls are clad in deep black stone, honed to a soft matte finish that absorbs light rather than reflecting it. Vertical bronze inlays run floor to ceiling, spaced with mathematical precision, creating a sense of rhythm that guides movement forward. As the corridor opens, the apartment reveals its most commanding gesture. The living room rises upward in a dramatic double-height volume, expansive and unapologetically grand. Floor-to-ceiling windows climb the full height of the space, framing Manhattan in clean daylight and flooding the interior with controlled brightness. The city becomes a backdrop, never the star. Walls are wrapped in dark architectural panels, their surfaces subtly textured, broken only by vertical seams that echo the Saint Laurent silhouette. Tall, narrow, precise. The scale is cinematic, but the restraint keeps it powerful rather than overwhelming. At the center, a massive modular seating composition anchors the room. Upholstered in deep charcoal velvet, its low, elongated form stretches across the space like a sculptural installation. Blackened steel detailing traces its base, grounding it firmly in the room's geometry. Above, the vertical volume remains intentionally quiet. No chandelier, no excess. The height itself is the statement. Along one wall, a long horizontal fireplace is integrated seamlessly into black stone. It's opening a thin, controlled line. When unlit, it reads as architecture. When active, it introduces warmth without ever breaking the discipline of the room. The transition into the dining area is fluid yet defined. A monumental dining table stretches lengthwise beneath the same soaring volume, crafted from polished dark stone with a subtle reflective surface. Chairs upholstered in black leather surround it, their frames slim, tailored, and severe. Fashion translated into furniture. Overhead, a linear bronze light installation floats quietly, its presence architectural rather than decorative. Every surface here reflects confidence. Nothing tries to impress. Everything succeeds. Beyond the dining space, the kitchen unfolds as a continuation of power rather than comfort. Cabinetry is rendered in matte black lacquer, perfectly flush, uninterrupted by visible hardware. Bronze lines cut vertically through the surfaces, echoing the rhythm established in the entry corridor. A massive island dominates the center, carved from solid black marble, its proportions bold and uncompromising. The island isn't a place to gather casually. It's a statement of authority. The transition into the private wing feels intentional, measured, controlled, almost ceremonial. The corridor narrows slightly, its black stone walls softened by long, vertical bronze lines that guide movement forward without distraction. The first master suite opens into a space defined by scale and silence. Floor-to-ceiling windows stretch across one wall, pulling daylight deep into the room and illuminating a palette of charcoal, blackened wood, and brushed metal. The bed sits low and wide, framed by a tall paneled wall in matte black, its vertical seams echoing the Saint Laurent silhouette. Sharp, elongated, precise. Leather-upholstered lounge chairs rest near the window, paired with a sculptural stone table that feels more like art than furniture. The room doesn't rely on softness for comfort, it relies on confidence. Every surface feels deliberate, tailored, and powerful. The ensuite bathroom continues the narrative without compromise. Black marble wraps the floor and walls, cut by subtle bronze accents that trace clean architectural lines. A freestanding tub sits beneath a tall window, its sculptural form illuminated by strong daylight. The vanity stretches wide, carved from solid stone, supporting minimalist fixtures in dark metal. The space feels less like a bathroom and more like a private spa designed for someone who understands restraint as the highest form of luxury. The second master suite introduces a different rhythm while maintaining the same authority. Here, the architecture leans slightly warmer. Smoked walnut panels wrap the walls, their grain deep and tactile under the light. The bed is positioned centrally, flanked by floating night elements in blackened steel. A private seating area sits opposite, framed by full-height windows that turn the city into a graphic backdrop. Its bathroom mirrors the palette with variation, stone surfaces, sculptural sinks, and a walk-in shower enclosed in smoked glass. Light moves through the space cleanly, revealing texture, depth, and precision. Nothing here feels secondary. Every bedroom is a primary statement. The third master suite completes the trio with a darker, more seductive tone. Walls are finished in deep charcoal stone, absorbing light and emphasizing form. The bed anchors the space beneath a tall, architectural headboard that rises like a monolith. Minimalist furnishings remain low and controlled, allowing the scale of the room to dominate. Its ensuite is expansive and immersive, defined by black stone, brushed bronze fixtures, and a long sculptural vanity that stretches wall to wall. Daylight filters in softly, turning the space into a sanctuary of quiet power. The walk-in closets throughout the private wing feel closer to private fashion ateliers than storage. Curved walnut shelving lines the walls, punctuated by bronze hardware and subtle integrated lighting. Each closet is expansive, gallery-like, and meticulously composed, designed to display, not conceal. Beyond the suites, the penthouse reveals its more indulgent spaces. The private office is composed and architectural. A long desk carved from dark stone stretches across the room, positioned to face the city through tall windows. Shelving rises behind it in clean vertical lines, holding art books, sculptural objects, and carefully selected pieces that feel editorial rather than personal. This is a space for control, clarity, and decision-making. Nearby, the meeting room feels like a private boardroom suspended above Manhattan. A monumental table anchors the center, surrounded by tailored leather chairs. Walls are wrapped in textured stone panels, and daylight sharpens every edge. The room feels designed for quiet authority. Discussions that don't need to be loud to be final. The gym carries the same philosophy: spacious, minimal, and powerful. Dark stone floors ground the room, while full-height mirrors and windows reflect daylight and movement. Equipment is integrated cleanly into the architecture, surrounded by sculptural elements that keep the space refined rather than aggressive. It feels private, disciplined, and unmistakably elite. The bar unfolds as an intimate counterpoint. A sculptural stone counter curves subtly beneath dark shelving, backlit with a controlled glow that remains visible even in daylight. Seating is low, upholstered in black leather, arranged for conversation rather than spectacle. This is a place for quiet indulgence, measured, elegant, assured. Finally, the terrace opens the penthouse outward, a private fashion lounge in the sky. Stone flooring extends seamlessly from inside to out, blurring the boundary between interior and exterior. Sculptural seating in dark tones is arranged around low stone tables, while architectural planters introduce controlled greenery without, softening the mood. The skyline stretches endlessly beyond, framed by clean lines and open space. Here, the city feels distant, controlled, curated. This penthouse doesn't celebrate luxury through excess. It defines it through discipline. Every corridor, every volume, every surface reflects the Saint Laurent philosophy: sharp, powerful, seductive, and immaculately composed. This is not a home designed to impress guests. It's a residence designed to reflect dominance, confidence, and taste at the highest level. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. New York never asked permission to be bold. It reinvents itself in layers. Art stacked on history, fashion built on rebellion, luxury expressed through confidence rather than restraint. And inside this $95 million Marc Jacobs apartment, that spirit is not referenced. It is embodied. The entry corridor arrives with theatrical intent. It is long, wide, and unapologetically dramatic, designed like a private gallery rather than a passageway. As the space opens, the living room reveals itself in full editorial scale. This is not a living room. It is a fashion statement rendered in architecture. The room is massive, wide, expansive, deliberately oversized, designed to feel closer to a private museum hall than a residential space. Ceilings soar high above, allowing light to pour in uninterrupted through enormous windows that frame the city like a backdrop rather than a view. Furniture is bold, sculptural, and unmistakably designer-made. Large format sofas in rich fabrics anchor the room with confidence, paired with dramatic statement chairs and oversized tables that feel closer to art pieces than furniture. Every item has presence. Nothing blends in. The floor becomes part of the composition, graphic, reflective, intentional, turning the living room into a constantly evolving editorial spread. This is a space designed to be seen and remembered. Beyond the living room, the dining area unfolds with equal drama. A monumental dining table stretches across the room, long enough to feel ceremonial, heavy enough to feel permanent. Chairs are sculptural and couture-inspired, each one looking like it belongs on a runway rather than around a table. Overhead, a statement lighting installation descends, not delicate, not subtle, but bold and intentional, casting light like a spotlight rather than an accent. This is dining as performance. Conversation here is framed by scale, art, and confidence. The kitchen follows, not hidden, not softened. It is expansive, architectural, and unapologetically bold. Large stone surfaces dominate the space, their scale exaggerated to feel powerful rather than practical. Cabinetry rises tall and seamless, finished in materials that feel custom, experimental, and fashion-forward. This kitchen is not about cooking quietly. It is about presence. Every surface reflects intention, from the floor beneath your feet to the ceiling above, where lighting is layered and dramatic, turning function into design. The first master suite opens with unapologetic confidence. The room is vast, wide, tall, and deliberately oversized, designed to feel closer to a private fashion loft than a bedroom. The bed sits centered like a statement piece, framed by a dramatic headboard that stretches upward, textured, layered, and intentionally bold. Around it, custom seating pieces form a private lounge within the suite, allowing the room to function as both retreat and showcase. Light floods in through expansive windows, washing across rich fabrics, sculptural furniture, and carefully chosen art. Nothing here is soft by accident. Every material is intentional. Every surface feels designed. The ensuite bathroom is king-sized in scale and attitude. Stone dominates, floors, walls, and surfaces extending uninterrupted, giving the space weight and permanence. A monumental soaking tub anchors the room, while a long vanity stretches across one wall like an installation. At one end, a clearly defined toilet area sits integrated into the architecture, private, refined, and unapologetically present. This is not hidden luxury. It is confident luxury. The second master suite pushes the expression further. This room leans darker, more dramatic, more editorial. The scale remains enormous, but the atmosphere shifts. Bolder textures, deeper tones, and furniture that feels almost confrontational in its confidence. The bed is framed by layered materials that rise high, while seating pieces feel like couture objects placed deliberately within the space. The bathroom attached to this suite is equally commanding. It unfolds as a large open composition of stone, reflective surfaces, and sculptural fixtures. The vanity feels oversized, the shower expansive, and the toilet area clearly defined within its own architectural zone, treated with the same design intensity as every other element. Nothing here is secondary. The third master suite becomes the most personal and the most daring. This space feels like a private creative studio disguised as a bedroom. The scale remains massive, but the layout introduces moments of asymmetry and surprise. Furniture is bold and expressive, fabrics layered, and art given room to dominate. The bed does not blend into the room, it asserts itself. Its bathroom follows suit. Large, bold, and unapologetically luxurious, it balances raw stone with polished finishes. The tub is sculptural, the vanity stretches wide, and the toilet area is seamlessly integrated. Clearly present, clearly intentional, and clearly designed as part of the whole. Beyond the suites, the apartment continues its narrative. The walk-in closet feels like a fashion archive rather than storage. Wide aisles, tall cabinetry, and curated displays that elevate clothing into art. Every surface feels custom, every detail feels deliberate. The office is not quiet, it is powerful. A large desk anchors the room, surrounded by bold furniture and striking art. This is a place for ideas, not paperwork. Nearby, the meeting room continues the editorial language. Oversized table, dramatic seating, and a sense of scale that turns conversation into an event. The bar is indulgent and expressive. Designed as a social centerpiece, it combines sculptural surfaces, reflective materials, and confident lighting. This is not a corner, it is a destination. The gym remains minimal in palette, but grand in scale, wide, open, and architectural. Equipment is spaced generously, allowing the room to breathe while still feeling intensely luxurious. Finally, the apartment opens outward. The terrace stretches wide, furnished with bold pieces that echo the interior's confidence. The city surrounds the space but never overwhelms it. This is New York on the apartment's terms. This home does not aim to please everyone. It aims to define itself. Because a Marc Jacobs apartment is not about comfort alone. It is about expression, about identity, about refusing to disappear into neutrality. This is luxury that plays, luxury that provokes, luxury that knows exactly what it is. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video. Share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. Milan has a different relationship with luxury. It does not ask permission, it assumes authority. From this height, the city unfolds in layers of stone, history, and modern ambition. And inside this $100 million Versace penthouse, that attitude becomes architectural. Bold, symmetrical, and unapologetically grand. The arrival is ceremonial. A vast entry hall opens in full daylight, its proportions closer to a private palazzo than an apartment. The floor is carved from polished Calicut marble. Tall columns rise on either side, wrapped in warm ivory stone and framed with brushed gold detailing. A sculptural console table anchors the center of the hall, finished in black lacquer and gold trim. From the entry, a long processional corridor draws the eye forward. Decorative gold motifs are integrated directly into the architecture, giving the space a regal cadence as light moves along its length. At the far end, the penthouse reveals its heart. The living salon opens suddenly, expansive and luminous, framed by floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the space with Milanese daylight. The ceiling height doubles, transforming the room into a modern palace chamber suspended above the city. The seating arrangement is sculptural and bold. Large Versace-inspired sofas upholstered in ivory and rich black velvet are arranged with generous spacing, their forms curved, confident, and unmistakably luxurious. Gold-accented tables in marble and glass sit between them, their bases carved like jewelry rather than furniture. The walls are clad in layered stone and high-gloss panels, reflecting light softly while maintaining depth. Oversized art installations, abstract, dramatic, and graphic, command attention without overwhelming the room. This is luxury that understands drama. Beyond the living salon, the formal dining room unfolds with equal authority. A monumental dining table carved from polished marble stretches across the room, supported by sculptural gold bases that gleam in the daylight. The chairs surrounding it are upholstered in rich fabric, their silhouettes bold and elegant, designed as much for presence as comfort. Above, a dramatic chandelier cascades downward, glass, gold, and geometry intertwining, catching the light and scattering it across the marble floor like jewelry in motion. The space feels prepared for grand dinners, private gatherings, and moments where architecture does the talking. The kitchen reveals itself seamlessly beside the dining room, expansive and refined. Stone surfaces dominate, polished and luminous, paired with high-gloss cabinetry trimmed in gold. The central island is oversized, sculptural, designed less as a workspace and more as a focal object. Daylight pours across its surface, highlighting veining and texture with theatrical clarity. Every surface reflects confidence. Every material signals intention. The first master suite opens like a private royal chamber. The room is vast, with ceilings that rise well above expectation and walls clad in ivory stone, accented by subtle Versace-inspired geometric motifs. Floor-to-ceiling windows flood the space with daylight, illuminating a bed that sits centered and elevated, framed by a sculptural headboard in marble and gold. Upholstered seating in deep jewel tones forms a lounge area at one end of the suite, creating a sense of scale that feels closer to a grand hotel than a residence. The bathroom that follows is nothing short of ceremonial. Polished marble wraps the space entirely, walls, floors, and surfaces flowing together in dramatic veining. A freestanding tub rests beneath a tall, arched window, bathed in natural light. Twin vanities stretch across an entire wall, framed in gold, mirrors rising high to amplify the room's volume. Every fixture gleams. Every surface reflects intention. The second master suite introduces a darker, more seductive tone. Here the palette deepens. Black marble contrasts with warm stone, and gold accents become bolder, more graphic. The bed is framed by dramatic panels that rise like architectural wings, creating a sense of intimacy within the vastness. A private sitting area overlooks the city, furnished with sculptural pieces that feel tailored rather than decorative. Its ensuite bathroom continues the drama. Black stone, reflective surfaces, and soft daylight filtering through layered glass. The space feels indulgent, confident, and deeply personal. The third master suite is the most expansive of all. Designed as a true owner's retreat, the room stretches wide and open, anchored by symmetry and scale. Marble floors extend uninterrupted beneath richly upholstered furnishings. A grand bed faces the windows directly, while a separate lounge zone creates a secondary living space within the suite itself. The bathroom is palace-sized. A central soaking tub sits like a sculpture, surrounded by marble columns and gold-trimmed walls. Light pours in from above, illuminating the stone with theatrical clarity. This is not a bathroom designed for efficiency. It is designed for presence. Between the suites, the penthouse offers spaces of control and refinement. A private office unfolds in rich materials and confident proportions, its desk positioned deliberately, the room framed by stone and glass. Nearby, a formal meeting room echoes the grandeur of Milanese boardrooms. Long table, sculptural seating, daylight balanced by gold accents, built for decisions that matter. The wellness spaces follow with equal authority. The gym is expansive, bright, and impeccably finished, its scale closer to a private club than a home amenity. Polished stone floors, mirrored walls, and sculptural equipment align performance with luxury. And then the penthouse opens outward. The terrace stretches wide, framed by marble and gold, overlooking Milan in full daylight. Seating areas are arranged with symmetry and intention, while water features reflect the sky above. The city becomes part of the composition, present but secondary. This final moment defines the entire residence. This is not a home that borrows Versace's identity. It embodies it. Bold, confident, lavish without apology. A penthouse designed not to impress the city below, but to stand above it, fully aware of its worth. Because at this level, luxury is not about excess. It is about certainty. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. Geneva doesn't glitter. It gleams, quietly, like metal warmed by a pulse. Doors open into a corridor where architecture speaks before the host can. Oyster steel panels line the walls, brushed by hand, each seam aligned with the precision of a watchmaker's file. The floor beneath is Calacatta marble, vein matched so precisely the pattern flows forward like the sweep of a second hand. Ahead, the bezel staircase curves upward, a spiral of steel and limestone, each riser fluted like a distant echo of the signature crown's geometry. No railing interrupts it. A sapphire glass balustrade rises from the floor in a single arc, distortion-free, bending light like the crystal of a date just. Luxury isn't seen, it's recognized. To the right, the living room. A wall of glass opens to Lake Geneva, water arranged like polished sapphire. The Alps beyond appear engraved into the horizon. Furniture sits with the discipline of a movement's components. Cashmere seating in mineral gray and deep navy, frames in brushed steel, corners accented in champagne gold edging. A table of black-green marble anchors the room, veins swirling like ocean currents under moonlight. On a low console, a vintage Rolex Oyster Perpetual box rests open, not display, simply waiting for the wrist it knows. It is kept. The dining hall arrives with gravity, a table carved from a single Calicut slab, edges softened like water-worn stone, chairs in midnight blue leather, seams flawless, hardware in brushed gold. Above, a chandelier of sapphire crystal fins hangs like the magnification lens of the Cyclops, refracting the room into a quiet constellation. The kitchen is not domestic, it is surgical. Brushed steel cabinetry without handles, doors open with pressure, seams thinner than breath. A central island in travertine and champagne gold, matte, zero gloss, warmth controlled to the degree. This is where ingredients become performance. Not through spectacle, through control. This is a residence calibrated like a mechanism. Living here is not luxury, it is precision. The first suite carries the spirit of the Oyster Perpetual. Walls in soft oyster gray plaster, surface polished to a satin sheen, like the underside of a watch case, unseen by most, perfect for those who know. A bed floats on a platform of limestone, champagne gold edging tracing its perimeter like the ring of a bezel. Headboard in cream leather, seams aligned to millimeter accuracy. The kind of straight line a human hand can only create with devotion, not repetition. The view is the lake. Full height, full clarity. Glass so pure it feels fictional. Its bathroom is a chamber of water and stone. Vein-matched marble falls across walls like a continuous sentence, unbroken. A shower in satin steel, rainfall emerging from a seam so precise the water feels sculpted. A sink carved like a watch dial, shallow and wide, the exact curve of a crystal. Even the drain is invisible. The second suite shifts like the turn of a crown. This is the day date. Warmer. Gold enters the palette like sunrise. A wall of walnut, lacquered to a mirror, carries the reflection of the Alps like an oil painting. The bed is richer. Navy velvet, champagne hardware, weight to its form, like the wrist feel of a presidential bracelet. Its bathroom is golden shadow, fixtures in brushed gold, surface soft enough to absorb light. Even steam behaves like choreography. The third suite carries depth, submariner in feeling, but not in emblem. Green emerges, deep, saturated. Rolex green, but in stone, not paint. A wall of Verde Alpi marble anchors the room, veins white and silver like currents under pressure. Bed in charcoal leather, seams curved like the arc of a wave. A seating area in sapphire blue cashmere, positioned to face the Alps. Snow peaks rising like the loom of a dial in darkness. Its bathroom feels like immersion. Green marble floor, waterfall shower with a basin-like trough, sound reduced to heartbeat and breath. The room feels like descent, not downward but inward. The walk-in closet is not a closet. It is a precision vault. Cabinetry in brushed steel and smoked glass. Interior lighting revealing garments like display dials. Shelves lined in suede. Clothing spaced like artifacts. Each piece given air to exist. This leads to the heart. The Rolex vault. A room of oyster steel and velvet shadow. Temperature controlled. Humidity perfect. Watch winders like constellations turning in slow choreography. Glass domes lined in gold. The gym looks across the lake. Rubberized flooring and geometric panels like bracelet links scaled to architecture. Steel machines machined, not assembled. Handles wrapped in leather, seams perfect. The bars where precision relaxes. A counter of green marble. Brass footrail brushed like the case of a champagne dial. Shelves in smoked glass. Bottles spaced like indices. Last, the terrace. Wind from the lake. Alps like notations on a score. Stone warmed from within. Glass rail, distortionless. Silence that feels earned. Not above the world, but aligned with it. This is not a home. It is a mechanism that beats. A perpetual motion of days and nights, kept with the precision of someone who never loses time. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video. Share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination.